Welcome back to Give STL Day Live. My name is Chris Strubb, the Giving Day Guy, joined by my good pal Elizabeth George. Thank you for coming on back.
Love being here, Chris.
It's 6 o'clock somewhere, Elizabeth. Just so you guys know, if you're watching at home, the reason we're not starting right at the top of the hour, there's a giant fire show that happens here right at the top of each hour here at Union Station, where we've been staged all day long. We do want to give a huge shout out to the team here at Union Station for having us here. It's been absolutely gorgeous out here. We hope that's coming across on the video as well. And even more gorgeous here today, Elizabeth, has been these conversations. It's 6 o'clock. The segues get worse and worse as the night goes on. I am so sorry. We've had some gorgeous conversations with some wonderful nonprofits all throughout the day. And Elizabeth, you're going to speak this hour with 4 more great nonprofits. I can't wait to hear how this goes.
Absolutely, but the first thing I want to say is that 6 p.m. is a power hour.
Yes.
Power hour. So everybody, what that means is if you donate in this 6 o'clock hour, your gift will be amplified. There's about $20,000 that will be split among the nonprofits that receive donations in this 6 o'clock hour. So give early and give often throughout the 6 o'clock hour. I am so excited to introduce Cindy and Nani from Caring for Kids. And before I say a word, I'm turning it over to Cindy and Nani. Take it away, friends.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
Hi, I'm Noni.
And we're from Caring for Kids. Imagine if you've never been able to have a pillow fight because you've never had a pillow. Or worse yet, you've never had a bed. Caring for Kids helps kids in foster care to get back to family and to licensed foster homes by providing beds and bedding for children. Let's go ahead and have a seat.
Okay, well, thank you for giving us that little bit of an introduction.
Thank you for having us.
We're so happy to have you here. You know, when you think about kids, in the foster care system, one of the things that you know is that the state does what they can do, and it's just not enough. And so an organization like Caring for Kids does so much to help our kids, our most vulnerable kids who are in our public child welfare system. So thank you so much for that. Tell us, you've given us that little snippet of an introduction. Can you fill in around the edges? Tell us more about Caring for Kids.
Absolutely. As you indicated, kids in foster care need so much but have very, very little. When kids come into foster care, there's often a lot of placements that happen. They go from place to place, and it doesn't provide stability that they really need. We help kids to get back home to family because family provides more stability than the foster care system can. Yeah. So by helping grandparents, aunts, uncles, adult siblings, cousins to take in children, they're able to take them in because they get beds. In order to be licensed or to have a child come into their home, they have to have a bed or, for infants, a crib. And we're here to help them do that. You can get a crib by providing $200 for an infant who needs a crib. Often these are newborns who are drug exposed and need as much help as they can. So that's one of our biggest needs, is helping babies get where they need to.
So our biggest request is for beds and bedding. You can get a bed for $225. That includes bedding, and that will help a child get home to his or her family rather than going into the foster care system or staying within a kinship placement.
That's so important. To be with family means the world, right?
Well, it gives them familiarity.
It gives them familiarity, and we all do better when we're with people that love us.
Absolutely.
Whether they know how to take care of us or not. Okay, so $200 for a crib, $225 for a bed. Both of those include the bedding. That's not that hard for one person to do, to provide. Tell me today, do you have a goal for Give STL Day?
We're trying to raise $7,000. We have been providing services to St. Louis County for nearly 20 years. And this past year, we expanded to the city of St. Louis as well. So our needs are even greater than they ever were. And we're trying to increase the amount of beds and bedding we provide so that more kids can be taken care of the way that they need to be taken care of.
And our goal in order to meet that for St. Louis City is an additional 50 beds than we would otherwise be on track for. And to reach our goal of 7,000 would really help us get there.
That's fantastic. So an additional 50 beds for the foster kids in this, well, to keep kids out of the foster care system, to keep them at home or put them into kinship care. That's terrific. So with that $7,000 on Give STL Day, I understand you had a match, and I understand you're about halfway to your goal.
Just about.
Just about. Okay, so what would it take? What if you were trying to convince that person that's watching us tonight to give to caring for kids? What's the thing that you think is most important they should know about the kids that you work with, about the families you work with? What's going to really drive that?
Most of the kids that we provide beds for have never had a bed of their own. They've often slept on the floor, or they've co-slept with adults. There are nearly 1,000 kids in the U.S. each year who are suffocated from co-sleeping with adults, children under the age of 1. So we're keeping children alive by giving them a crib. We're helping children to have pride by giving them beds and bedding. For each child, I try to match the bedding to what their likes are. So if we've got a 5-year-old who's into superheroes and Spider-Man, that's the bedding that I get. If we've got a 8-year-old little girl who loves unicorns and rainbows, that's what we try to do. So we're here to give them stability and pride.
And you know what I love about that is that's about that child, right? These are kids, and we want that for our kids, so we should want that for all kids. That's wonderful.
100%.
100%. Okay, well, we are so grateful for you for coming out tonight, and I hope that all of you out there will be thinking about, as you think about one you know, one you don't know, and one you might want to get to know a little better, that caring for kids will be one of those that you want to get to know a little bit better. Give early, give often. Thank you so much, Noni and Cindy, for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We
Wonderful
really
to
appreciate it.
Thank you for your support.
Please give.
Please give. That's great.
Hi, sweetie. Hey, come here. You want some loving? Hello. Yes, hi. You're doing so. It's Give STL Day, year 10. This is our 10th and final stop of our whirlwind tour all around the St. Louis area today. And ironically, Reagan, we are at 10th Life Cat Rescue. What a perfect name for a place like this. And I'd love for you to kind of introduce our furry friend here and tell us all about the work that you guys do here at 10th Life.
Sure. So this is Bun Bun. He's a little antsy right now, but Bun Bun came to us a couple of months ago from a animal control facility. Oh, you're okay. You can sit down. He's okay. And Bun Bun came to us with severe anorexia. He had not been eating for a couple of weeks, and we weren't sure why. And he was diagnosed with pancreatitis and then fatty liver disease, and now he is still not eating completely on his own, not enough to sustain himself, so he's being tube fed, and we're still kind of trying to figure out why all of this has happened.
And Bun Bun kind of exemplifies the core mission of the work that you guys do here.
So we work really hard to prioritize cats with special needs and injuries like Bun Bun, special medical needs, behavioral needs, injuries like broken legs. We get cats with wonky eyes, cats with weird legs, all sorts of issues, we'll take them. And we work really hard to partner with other places like animal control facilities and open admission shelters that don't have a foster program or the capacity to help these cats. And that's kind of where we fit in, is to take those cats that other places maybe don't have the resources or capacity to help.
This feels like incredibly redeeming work. I mean, I know that I'm not allergic to cats, so if you see my eyes tearing up a little bit, it's because of the storytelling, not the cats around the room.
Oh, yeah, it is. It makes me want to cry because getting to help
Every
these
cat you
cats
meet
is-
must be that same overwhelming
Yeah.
kind of emotion. Because like you said, every cat is different in their
Yeah.
in what they encounter.
Absolutely, yeah. And Bun Bun, I wish he would come back, but he was getting a little antsy. But he has been, despite all of his health challenges, he's just been the sweetest, like happiest, cuddliest cat. He loves to bird watch, and he just like lounges all day, and he kind of has the life right now while we try to figure out what's going on with him.
So Give STL Day, you guys have been participating for all 10 years of Give STL Day. It's a very important day for your organization.
Yes, it is. So we actually have a goal tomorrow to raise $30,000 tomorrow, which we're really hopeful that we can meet. And that $30,000 goes to our big spring campaign, which we call Project Feline Freedom, which allows us to step in and help at other organizations. So we step in to help mitigate unnecessary euthanasia, basically. So that's kind of what all of our May looks like, is trying to raise a big amount of money to fund that specific project.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there's a camera around somewhere.
Bun Bun. He's he's having a good time exploring the space. I can try to grab him again.
So cute. So he's okay.
Okay.
He's okay. You have summer programming coming up, special things happening over the next few months?
Yeah, so we'll have all through May, like I talked about, we're doing our spring fundraising campaign that's called Project Feline Freedom.
Yeah.
And all in May, so we have a goal to raise $30,000 tomorrow, but then we have a goal to raise $50,000 during the entire month, and that helps us take in these cats that, you know, are just a little more extra special and need a little more extra care. And then we will have a big trivia night coming up in July. We don't have all of the details about it out there yet, but that will be coming soon.
All right, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Facebook page is probably the best place to
Yeah,
keep up with the
absolutely.
work
We
you guys
are
do.
at 10-5 Cats everywhere.
Three, two, and we are back at the 6 o'clock power hour. We're so excited to know that every donation given in this hour will be amplified with prize money for the nonprofits that you choose. I have the great pleasure of introducing the Freedom Arts and Education Center, Andrew Gibson, the Executive Director, and Tashawn, who I believe you're one of
Youth Artist Organizer.
Pardon me?
Youth Artist Organizer.
One of our youth artist organizers. And so tell me, Andrew and Tashawn, a little bit about Freedom Arts and Education Center.
Well, we started in 2012. Tyshawn was one of our youth scholars at the time, so it's pretty cool. He's stuck with us all these years. We've been able to hire him, bring him on staff, and now he can impact the next generation of youth through this organization. That's something we always wanted to happen. So we're in our 10th year now. We do after-school tutoring programs, we do in-school advocacy, summer programs, weekend programs, just trying to give young people from all different parts of St. Louis City just safe resource places to be so they can grow as artists, grow as students, grow as community leaders, and have all the support that they need to do that.
And when you say grow as artists, what kinds of arts do you teach the kids or help the kids learn more about?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, like he said, this program has been since 2012, and I was 7 when it started. And from the age of 7 till now, I've learned how to play the guitar, play the drums, write poetry, and just my literacy has improved a whole lot. And just, I'm able to become my best self in just the environments I'm in any environment I'm in.
That is fantastic. And you should see the art that they created out here at Union Station. We had some chalk art going earlier, and it's beautiful. So, tell us a little bit about Give STL Day today. What are you hoping to raise, and how will you be using those dollars?
Yeah, our goal for today for Give STL Day is $8,000. It's going to go towards our summer programming. So we've done summer camps in the past. We're doing a much more ambitious summer camp this year, more hours, more weeks, and we're also doing it in one of our partners' church buildings in North St. Louis. This building needs a little bit of work before we start summer camp next month, so all funds raised will go towards fixing up the building, paying teaching artists for the summer camp, paying our youth to help run the summer camp, paying for transportation, food, everything, so we can keep the camp not only free for everybody, but very high quality.
So your camp is free for everybody. That is fantastic. That means there are no barriers for your kids to participate. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the goal. We try to remove the barriers that we can. The barriers we can't remove, we like to activate the kids so they can use their own power to overcome the barriers that continue to stand in their way. But all of our programs are free. We've never charged for a program, and we want to keep it that way. So with your all's help, we can do that.
With your all's help, we can do that. I love that. So, tell me, at the summer camp, what are the hours of the camp? Like, how much of the day do you have the kids?
Yeah, so our camp will be 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. With aftercare and before care happening in those top and bottom hours. Monday through Friday, we'll take a lot of field trips. We'll do a lot of art. We'll learn history, culture. We'll play team sports. We're going to learn how to swim. We're going to do all kinds of things at this camp.
That is fantastic. Learning how to swim is so important because, one of the things that we know is that if you don't know how to swim, it's really not just that it's a fun activity, but it's also a safety thing to know how to swim. So that's great that you're adding that in. Now, if you're going 8 to 4, that means you're feeding these kids too, is that right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
And,
okay, so what we need for that $8,000, it's going a long way, isn't it? It's really being stretched.
Yeah, for sure.
Food, instruments, supplies for the summer camp, field trip buses, the 8,000 will go a long way.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you know what? We've got a little bit of a video so that you can see what Freedom Arts and Education Center does. So, okay, come on, take it away.
This goes out to the doubters. We all speak it louder.
This goes out to the non-believers. Some people bobbing and weaving, they play it odds and even. Some of them do it for the fun, some of them got a reason. I do it for the love of love, and the truth speaking. West Coast, East Coast, South, Midwest. For all my people that's really handling their business. I've been fresh, all they can say is he is blessed. We 10 steps away, you need a witness. Fly real high to the sky, no limits. Let me beat up on the new plate. You need a witness.
Boy, that just makes me want to go to camp. I mean, that looks great. Tyshawn, we saw a lot of different arts there, and you talked about a lot of different arts. What's your favorite medium? What do you like the best?
If we're being completely honest, I wouldn't say my favorite thing about this is the arts. I say my favorite thing about this is just the different opportunities we get. From when I was 14, I worked in a garden, the community garden. I was able to pick habanero peppers as you've seen in the video, and just learn a lot more about just life and agriculture and things like that. So I say the different opportunities and the life skills and different knowledge we get to take with us, it sticks with me way more than the arts ever have. But I say drumming.
I love that.
Andrew taught me how to play the drums when I was 11, and ever since then, it's just been a big part of my life.
That's wonderful. And that exposure to opportunities, I've often heard that we can only dream to be what we can see, right?
Yeah.
And so if you don't see it, how do you know that you can be it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think, they're already artists. I believe everybody's born an artist, but depending on your skin color, on your zip code, on your parents' income, that kind of determines whether or not you get the opportunities to continue on as an artist. So we want to make sure that the same opportunities are available everywhere, and that there's no made-up barriers to those things.
Well, that just makes my heart sing, because I think about, my kids are the lucky kids who've had those opportunities, and we want to make sure that every child is able to see what a community garden is, or what a garden is, to see or to have that feeling of making music, or to have that feeling of creating art and having people appreciate it. So, $8,000, guys, for Freedom Arts and Education Center. We can do this. So, you know what I always say? I've said it a million times. You're going to hear me say it a million times more. Give to one you know, give to one you don't know, and give to one that you want to know better. You got to hear a little bit more about Freedom Arts and Education Center in this 6 o'clock power hour, this amplified donation time. So, please think hard, have fun, give till it feels great, and that's it with our Freedom Arts and Education Center. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much, Tyshawn, and thank you to the two of you. I hope you have a wonderful time out here at Union Station tonight.
Thank you very much. Thanks for doing this.
We'll be right back.
Okay. And we are back this time. We are back with IHELP, the Immigrant Home English Learning Project. And IHELP has been around for a long time, but over the last couple of years, they've really expanded out what they're doing. So I'm going to throw it over to Julie and Sophia from IHELP, who are going to tell you a little bit more about the organization.
Well, thank you so much for having us today. We are having a lot of fun today on Give STL Day. Immigrant Home English Learning Program empowers immigrant families with individualized in-home English learning and community navigation. And so right now we have over 250 students in our program that are working with 250 wonderful volunteers to learn English and get used to their new community.
That is amazing, 250. That's a lot of volunteers to coordinate and a lot of students to teach.
Yeah.
What does it take to wrangle around 250 volunteers and 250 students?
It takes a staff that is dedicated and is ready to help whenever needed. And it also just takes volunteers who want to give their time. It's very easy to volunteer and teach English in our program. You don't have to have a second language. You don't have to have any background teaching. We give you everything that you need to do it, and for 2 hours a week, it's amazing how you can make a difference in one's life. So, and we have a support staff that just goes in there and makes sure that needs are met, curriculum, and we also have the social worker now, which is new this year, which enables us to help with other situations that come up and connect them with the resources here in St. Louis that you guys are all learning about today.
I think actually our program is really unique in the way that when it used to be in the way that you learned language and the way immigrants and refugees, when they first arrived, they would actually go to preschools or elementary schools and they do big group classes together. But if you're like most of our students who are possibly young mothers, may not have transportation, or maybe need a babysitter for those young kids, it's really a benefit to have our tutors go in their actual homes and tutor them individualized one-on-one. But because it's all individualized tutoring for every student we also need a corresponding tutor. And we have over 200 people still on our wait list, so we're always looking for new tutors. So if you're over 18 and have an interest, definitely check us out.
So on this Give STL Day, you don't just need donations, and you do need your donations, but you also need tutors. So just think about that. Think about how much fun it would be to learn about a whole nother culture through the eyes of an immigrant. That'd be really cool to do.
It is.
Go ahead.
Oh, it is really cool to do. It's a cultural exchange, and our volunteers become part of the students' families, and they, we have some that refer, a younger volunteer working with an older student. That's she refers to her as her grandma now. And then fun things happen too. We celebrate all wins, big or small. And somebody called us this week and was like, I just wanted to let you know I ordered pizza. And we take all that for granted, but somebody was so excited that they did. And that's the really cool thing about being a volunteer. You get to experience all that.
And you mentioned that it takes good staff to wrangle up those volunteers. I know that this year you've got a goal for Give STL Day, don't you?
Oh yes, absolutely. So we actually have a fund matching grant this year. So we are definitely looking for new donors who would be interested in donating for the first time this year. Especially, all your dollars will get matched up to $20,000. We're actually halfway to our goal right now, but we're a 10-year participant. Give STL Day goes till 10 a.m. tomorrow, so there's still plenty of time to give. And absolutely, please help us get towards that $20,000 goal. We'd really appreciate it.
Wow, a $20,000 match. Just think, if you give to IHELP in this 6 p.m. hour, not only do you get that amplified gift, but you also get that match. That's amazing.
Yes. We are very excited to have a match this year, and as Sophie said, we're a 10-year participant, and I was able to add up today how much we have made in the past 10 years, and that's over $60,000
wow.
that we would have not had access to or had been able to use. So it really adds up today, and having the match and being able to make the dollars go further, it makes all the difference.
I mean, if you think about where we were 10 years ago and where we are now, I mean, it's incredible. We've almost, doubled the staff size, a lot more coordinators because the need has risen so much. I think, it's really important to spread out there that, St. Louis is a sanctuary city. So we are open to refugees and immigrants. And we're actually a really good city for that population since we lost some population during the census. So we have the opportunities to provide these families with a wonderful new life. And because that need has risen over the years, it's been really rewarding. We've doubled our program because now we've introduced a new youth program. So we're serving a whole new group and population. So not just the parents and adults, but now we can serve other children as well. So, yeah.
So is that new program taking place in the homes as well?
Yes.
That's great.
It's the same model as our adult program, just now with the youth, and it's after schools or on the weekends, whenever the family's available to do this. And it really helps the kids because they don't get pulled out of class for English lessons, and therefore they can continue learning in the subject.
It's also really nice for maybe smaller schools, either private schools or parochial schools that aren't big enough to have a maybe an ELL or an ESL program like some of the bigger public schools do. So that also provides opportunity for those children as well. Yeah.
That is so great. And do the volunteers that are working with the younger folks, with the children and youth, are they the same volunteers as working with the adults, or are they different volunteers?
I think it's different volunteers is what we're finding. We're seeing that, you know, there are people that are ready to work with the adult volunteers, and then there's people that, you know, want to do youth, and it's usually a totally different population. And so it's been very interesting seeing that happen, and then retooling our model to make sure that we are able to meet the needs.
So when you first sign up to be a volunteer, you can kind of choose some of your needs. Like you can choose if you want what hours to work, maybe what cultures to work, what are your interests. And then you can also choose if you want to work maybe with a younger student, like a child, or with an older student and adults. And then you can also choose your level of learning. So maybe you'd prefer to work with a student who's maybe intermediate or advanced and has a little bit of English to help to kind of get through the lesson. Or maybe you want to start at the very beginning with someone who needs to start with learning the alphabet, because their alphabet in their home language is a completely different alphabet, or maybe it's because they didn't learn how to write in their own language. So you can kind of choose what level to start at as well.
Isn't that fun? And, you know, we heard earlier this evening that we've got not just the Afghans we heard so much about in 2021 coming into our community, not just the Ukrainians that we know have been coming in from since the war started a year ago, and not just the Congolese and the Somalis and others that are coming in through the set immigration refugee settlement programs, but we have other immigrants and refugees that are coming into our community, and these wonderful people are here to make sure that they can assimilate, that they can appropriately hold on to your own culture, but also be able to communicate and start to work and assimilate into our culture as well. That is so fantastic. Thank you so much for the work that you do at IHELP.
All right, thank you so much. We're so happy to be here, and hopefully don't forget Immigrant Home English Learning Program.
Immigrant Home English Learning Program. And you know, IHELP and so many others you can find on our on the Give STL Day website, www.givestl.org. We hope you go. We hope you have some fun exploring all sorts of different kinds of nonprofits on the website and figure out who works for you. Whoa, we just had a little noise down here at Union Station. One you know, one you don't know, and one you want to get to know. Thank you so much, IHELP. Julie and Sophie.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Elizabeth, we've got some fun stuff happening here at Union Station tonight. Hey, so yesterday I had a chance to travel all around St. Louis with my new buddy Greg Ampadu. He's the soon to be graduating communications intern at the St. Louis Community Foundation.
Yep.
We filmed a ton. I got us reversed on the video again. That's what happens when it gets late. I'm sure that's bothering some people at home. There you go. Now we can look
now
at
we
each
can
other.
chat.
We filmed a bunch of videos, and I've got a bunch of them left to play. So if you're one of those organizations and you're watching, to hear from one of those groups tonight, stay tuned. We're going to play as many of those videos as we can tonight. I also realized that I did accidentally cut off that 10th Life video as it was playing before. So don't you worry, I will definitely play the remainder of that conversation. In fact, what I'm going to do right now as we are getting our next group in order is I'm going to play the remainder of that conversation right now. So we'll be back live in about 3 minutes. But if you're watching this whole video all the way through, I'm going to pick up where we left off on that 10th Life video. We're going to listen to the last couple minutes of that, and then we'll be right back with our next group. So don't go anywhere. More Elizabeth, more Give STL Day, more Union Station, and more fundraising to come as we approach that $2.5 million mark.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
We're going to have a gold race for the entire month, and that helps us take in these cats that are just a little more extra special and need a little more extra care. And then we will have a big trivia night coming up in July. We don't have all of the details about it out there yet, but that will be coming soon.
All right, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Facebook page is probably the best place to
Yeah,
keep
absolutely.
up with the work
We
you guys
are
do.
at 10th Life Cats everywhere. There he is. Come here, Bun. No. Bun. Come here, bud. I want everybody to see how cute you are. He's just adorable. You can see he's got a little feeding tube and he gets fed 3 times a day, and he does eat a little bit on his own. It's just not enough to sustain everything he needs right now.
So now we have Geraldine.
Yes, this is Geraldine. I also call her Jerry for short. She is my foster. She came to 10th Life by way of another local animal shelter that just didn't feel like they could manage her health issues. She was born with something called swimmer syndrome, which is essentially where their back legs are born in like a permanent little sploot position, almost like little fins. So there's not great function of them, and she actually had to have one of her back legs amputated a few months ago due to a congenital injury. But she has really adapted super well. She gets around great, even with one missing back leg and her other leg not working super well. And she is just the sweetest little girl, and she's got the biggest little pretty eyes.
Oh, it's okay.
She's not a big fan of being held.
A little camera shy.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm gonna let you go back and nap
She's
again.
very sweet though. But
Well, Reagan, we want to say thank you so much. And I'm
Thank
going to finish
you.
with this question, which would be, what message would you have for someone who donates to 10th Life tomorrow? You can speak right to the camera and let them know.
So we are so thankful for your support. We really could not do this work. We really could not help the cats that we do with special needs and injuries, and without the support of our community and our donors. So it really means the world to us to have your support.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
And best of luck
Thank
during
you.
Give STL Day.
Thank you so much. On behalf of all of us here at 10th Life Cat Rescue,
Thank you, St. Louis.
One, two, three.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
thank you, St.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
And we are back in that 6 o'clock power hour, and you know,
we are quickly coming up, Elizabeth, on $2.5 million.
Whoa.
$2.5 million. Okay.
Very likely to cross it during this next conversation.
And I will not interrupt, but I will do this when we hit that number. Okay.
I can do that too.
There we go. You know, there's some people that over the last 3 years I've met, but I've only met on a Zoom box. And Oasis International is one of those organizations that I've gotten to know over a Zoom box. So it's really fun for me tonight to get to see you all in person. So thank you so much for coming down to St. Louis Union Station for this extra special Give STL Day tonight.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're way bigger than that box, right?
Real people, it's so much fun.
Right.
So I always like to start by just tell us a little bit about Oasis International, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, well, Joni and I are the founders of Oasis International, and we saw that God was sending the nations to us. We just felt like, wow, we need to help the refugees when they come. And so when we found that out, we realized they need furniture, they need clothes, they need English classes, citizenship classes, baby showers. So we just wanted to embrace them, and mostly they needed love. They've lost everything. And so we just want to love them and embrace them and find out the things that they need. But really, we want to really love them and welcome them. We want to be the most welcoming city in the United States to the refugees here.
Yes, we do. We feel like they have been through so much already. We know things just from watching the news and reading about things that they've been through. But these are some of the most brave and courageous people we've ever met. You know, they've been through a war, they've been through just a tragedy, losing family members, losing friends, losing their country, losing their jobs. And then coming to the United States, they're so grateful. And we're just there to walk alongside them and to help them so that they can become productive members of the city of St. Louis.
And you know, I kind of messed up at the beginning of this because I didn't show you the love of introducing the two of you. I just introduced your organization. So it is with great joy that I bring to you Mark and Joni Akers, who, you know, as I said, we've gotten to know you through the Zoom, but it's
$2.5 million.
We did it! Okay! Woo! Yay, yay! Hey, keep giving. We've got a little bit, we've got 11 more minutes in this power hour.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Mark and Joni, you're talking about the love that you've shown those who come to our city. We've had the wonderful pleasure of having International Institute and IHELP here. But you actually brought probably the most important guest that we could have.
No kidding.
In our hour tonight.
Yes.
So please, tell us a little bit about the wonderful person with us today.
Well, this is Obaidullah from Afghanistan, and he was one of our refugee, he was an interpreter for the military in Afghanistan. So thank you. We honor all of our refugees that have helped the U.S. military. We honor them as our own veterans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you from United States coming us in United States, and also I'm thankful so much from Mr. Mark and Joni to help us a lot. We are coming on this year's January this year's. We was in bad situation in Afghanistan, but now we are happy to live in United States, and I am thankful from Mr. Mark to help us about some furniture in the house, about going to school my children, and also I thankful from he gave for me a car gift for gift. Yeah, wow. Yeah, a car also he gave me for gift, and I'm thankful for all of you, United States, Oasis International, specific Mr. Mark, and Jenny. Thank you.
Wonderful. You know, all of these gifts, necessities, really, they are the things that you need to be able to live in St. Louis or live in the United States. All of these things cost money, right?
Right.
And Give STL Day is all about raising the money to be able to help people like Obi.
Right.
So I understand that you had a match and that
Yes.
you are almost, or you got there?
Yeah, we got
tell
there.
Me what that goal was.
We had a
and what you did.
$5,000 match.
Wow, great.
But we went over that. Our goal was $15,000, and then we raised it to $17,000, and we're getting there. One of the things that Obaid just mentioned, we gave 42 cars.
Wow.
Since the Afghan people started coming, but we didn't have any of that. We didn't have the money, and it's the donations of the people that they just had a heart for the refugees that are coming here to St. Louis, and we're just a conduit. We just want to receive it and then give it to the people that need it the most, and we're blown away by our donors all the time.
You know, they always say that St. Louis is a very generous city.
Yes.
And
yes.
what I'm hearing is it's not just the cash donations, but it's also all those other things that people need when they come to a new country, a new city, or when they just don't have what they need, right?
That's
We've heard from some others tonight that they're working with people from our city who just don't have what they need.
Right.
But what you're doing is really remarkable to help somebody who, you know, shows up as a refugee with nothing.
Right.
With nothing. And to help them build a home. It's really incredible.
And we can't do it. You know, we are so aware that the only way that we've been able to do this has been through generous donations from the people of St. Louis and also wonderful volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, we host baby showers for the new moms, and you know, we give them a house full of furniture, very nice furniture. It's not new, but we take donations, and we have a clothing store, and just the need to learn English, you know, and citizenship so they can become citizens. And we are so grateful, and we couldn't do it without all of the people that have been so generous. And Elizabeth, St. Louis is full of generous people.
Yes,
and so the more, like Mark said, the more that people give to us, then we're able to help them even more, because they do absolutely come here with absolutely nothing.
Right.
Well, and as you said, you were part of our military operations.
Yes.
You were serving our country, and that we need to give back to you the way you have given to us.
Right.
Yeah, when I was in Afghanistan, you know the situation of Afghanistan. They're getting now living in their Taliban. And also I lost my job in there. They didn't allow girls to going to school, and this way I came there, and United States helped me to come there. And also I'm so happy about my future of my children.
Yes.
And also I want to again thankful from Mr. Mark, Oasis International, Ms. Denise, all of them, because they too much help us. And sometimes they come for my wife. They bring her to going to the English class.
Yeah, she's going to our English class now.
She's a lovely lady.
Yeah.
How many children do you have?
Two.
Yeah,
I have one son and one daughter. Son and daughter. My son is 10 and my daughter is 6 now.
And they're in school?
Yeah, they went to school. They're going to school. My son is 4th grade and my daughter is 1, the first grade.
First year,
And where are they going to school?
They were going to city Nahi Chapman School.
Nahi Chapman.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Nahi
so
Chapman School.
so that's the school that St. Louis Public Schools has that is specifically for kids that are from other countries and are just learning English and learning the American education system. And I bet you all at Oasis are really helpful in navigating that, because as much as you get at school, kids come home with questions, right?
Oh, yes,
sure do.
They certainly do. And you know what's so wonderful, what we've seen with the Afghans in particular, is that the husbands, because they were in the military, they do know English, and so their moms, a lot of the moms do not. They stayed home with the children, and their heart just breaks when they can't help their own children with their schooling. And so it's just so important. So we pick up the moms, we bring them to class. If they have little ones, we babysit the little children, up to the age of, 5 years old before they go to kindergarten. So it's just helping them it just takes the stress off of them, for them to begin to learn the language and be able to help their children, because their kids are picking up the English really fast in school.
Yep. One of the things too, Elizabeth, is when we do that, we become family. Yeah. It's not just doing a service to the refugees. We want relationship. And so it's so important. All of our teachers, our volunteers, they just have a heart to love these people. They need love. Yeah. We want to embrace them and bring some security into their life too. So. It's great when our volunteers are able to go into their home and when they can come to the American family's home. We want to bring the American people here in St. Louis and connect them with these different refugee families, the culture, all the new things about them. We want to learn from them. Right. And by the way, they have really good food. Oh man!
I'll do a whole lot for some really good
there you go. There you go.
And they are some of the most hospitable people we know. We have learned so much from them. Our lives are truly enriched. We are mom and dad to a lot of families, and grandma and grandpa, and we love them. We just love them.
It's so great. And think about it: love, stability, security, and family. We all need that. Right. Okay, we are going to have to wrap up because one, we're coming to the end of our power hour, and secondly, one of the fun things at Union Station is on the hour, they have a fire show and a lot of music.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much.
Can we show you our grandchildren here too?
Because we've got the Acres grandchildren here.
That's the other part about what we do. We try to connect the whole family. Right. Children, teenagers. Look at these guys.
And they're the best.
And they're the best. Okay, so you've just got about a minute left for this power hour. Work fast. www.givestl. I'm sorry, I'm losing it. GiveSTLday.org. Give early, give often, give to one you know, one you don't know, and one you want to know. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you,
Elizabeth. Grandchildren and
awesome. We thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
All right.
Okay, 5-minute break.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Hi, I'm Chrissy. This is Evie. I'm just going to show you some of the skills.
Hi, Evie.
Good girl. That we teach our dogs here at Dogs. Evie. Evie. Bump. Good girl. All the way. What a girl. Good girl. She's like, Evie, get the light. Oh my goodness, what a girl. That's her favorite. Evie, get the light. Good job. Nice job. Evie, climb. Good girl. Off. Good job. Good job. Evie, sit. Wait. Good girl. Yes. Sit. Good girl. Very good. Nice job. Evie, right here. Nice. Evie, heel. Good girl. Evie, rest. Rest. What a girl. Good girl. Off. Good job. Good job. I'm gonna a treat. What a girl. Good girl. Evie, rest. Rest. Good job. Off. Nice job. Evie, left. All the way. Good girl. Good job. Evie, off. Good girl. Good girl. Evie, heel. Nice job. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Let's go. Good girl. What a good girl. Nice job. Sit. Good girl. Evie down. Very nice. If you notice, when we have our dogs down, her back legs are facing out. We do that on purpose. So whatever side the client is on, she will switch her hips to where her legs are facing the opposite direction.
Oh.
Good girl. Evie, sit. Nice job. Stand. Good girl. Evie, front. Good girl. Side. That just means go to my right and sit. Good girl. Down. Nice. Good girl.
Hey Dawn, so we just watched an awesome demonstration with our girl Evie here. Can you kind of explain a little more now of what we just saw and kind of what you guys do here at Duo Dogs and how these dogs are really assisting folks out in the community?
First of all, Evie always steals the show, so I'm glad that you got to see her already.
No offense to you.
So at Duo, we build extraordinary bonds between people and dogs. And we do that in two ways. One is we breed and train assistance dogs who help people with mobility challenges, people in a wheelchair, help people with hearing challenges. We help veterans with PTSD. And also, we also place facility dogs in hospitals and courthouses. And so when you saw Evie earlier, so she was demonstrating some of the skills that we teach our dogs so that they can go out and make a difference in the world. And so she's just a prime example of what an assistance dog can do.
So Give STL Day, people can definitely donate and help support these organizations. We've got a whole set of supplies here behind here. And you explained that about $350 helps support one puppy's ascendance into Evie level support.
So we have a really unique model because our puppies grow up in homes of volunteers. They're called volunteer puppy raisers.
Wow.
So the first year and a half of Evie's life, she was with a volunteer puppy raiser who brought her to Duo once a week for training and worked with our trainers to learn those basic skills. And then at a year and a half, Evie came to Duo to live with us for 6 months, where she learned those advanced skills that you just saw. So think about, all the puppies that come through here. We've got about 100 working dogs out there right now that are working, that have gone through our program. So when you think about costs, we estimate it costs about $50,000 for one dog, and that's birth to placement. So we're talking a 2-year process. That's training, vet costs, food, all of those expenses that it takes to raise a dog like Evie. So here's an example of some things that, just on a smaller scale, that are really helpful. So every single one of our puppies goes home with a volunteer puppy raiser for the first year and a half of their life, and they walk away with kind of a starter kit that will be helpful for them when they get those puppies home. And so what I've got behind me are just some items that we include in that starter kit. I mean, there's treats, there's leashes, there's collars, there's toys. There's a little baby, this little baby lamb. So this is our little heartbeat baby. So when our little itty bitty puppies, when they go home with the volunteer puppy raisers, they go home with this little heartbeat baby. And they put it in their crate with them because, again, they're away from their litter mates for the first time, so they can be kind of lonesome. So this has a little heartbeat in it that kind of keeps them company those first few nights. So, but when you look at all these things put together, just for a starter kit, when a volunteer puppy raiser takes a puppy home, it's about a $300 investment, right then and there. And that's something that we cover here at Duo. So when you think about where those dollars go, when you think about, raising an assistance dog from a puppy to 2 years old, all of those costs that are involved in that, along the way.
Wonderful. It's a great organization to support during Give STL Day. Now, you guys have been participating for 10 years. Why is Give STL Day so important to Duo Dogs?
Well, first, let me thank you for letting us participate for 10 years. I mean, we're so excited for a decade to be involved in this way. And Give STL Day is really important to us because from an exposure perspective, to align ourselves with the St. Louis Community Foundation and to really be able to share our story to the entire population of that foundation, because we know that it's made up of very generous people who want to help others. And so for us to have the opportunity to be a part of that Give STL Day effort is a privilege, for us.
Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it. It's great to meet you.
Thanks for having
and
us.
Great to meet you too, sweetie. We'll let you get back down and get you another treat. How about that?
So on behalf of the team here at Duo Dogs, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, St. Louis. All right, we're coming on back. All right, Elizabeth, there you go.
And we are back live at Union Station talking about Give STL Day, www.givestlday.org. I have had the wonderful, wonderful pleasure of getting to know Dr. L.J. Punch over the last few years. Our last guests, the Acres from Oasis International, I only knew on Zoom boxes during the pandemic. But Dr. Punch was on the front line, and there was many a summer day when we were out in community passing out packages with masks and with information about testing and about COVID in general, and with hand sanitizer that was the best hand sanitizer I ever found. So anyway, what Dr. Punch is doing with Power for STL is really remarkable work. And Dr. Punch, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I would love for you to tell a little bit about Power for STL and all that you are doing for our community.
Well, again, thank you. I am Dr. L.J. Punch, founder, executive director, and medical director of Power for STL. If you look at that word and you take a step back, you just see the word powerful. And it is an organization that has been in existence for 5 years now, that has been shifting power from inside the hospital to the community, making sure people have what they need to respond to trauma, including things like shootings, overdoses, and COVID-19 itself. Now, people may have heard of Power for STL, but normally people think of us by this, the T. The T is the building where Power for STL came to be, and that's located in the East Loop of Del Mar. It's currently focused on providing holistic support, healing, and navigation for people who are at risk for overdose. Power for STL is like a big umbrella organization in which the T is a part. But there's another part of the work as well, and that's, our other hat, the bullet-related injury clinic, the BRIC. That is a clinic that's focused on supporting patients, families, and loved ones who have experienced a bullet injury, whether it was them impacted directly or someone they love. All of these services include a holistic approach to healing, recognizing that beyond the physical injuries, we need to heal emotionally, socially, and even spiritually. In our clinics, we provide wound care, pain management, infection control and prevention, but also spiritual care, social supports, self-care needs, and the navigation to long-term recovery supports, whether it's acute trauma that happened yesterday or a lifetime of trauma. We believe that healing is possible and that self-care is the best care to achieve that healing.
Every time I hear Dr. Punch speak, I'm just in awe of how we can have a trauma surgeon who sees people as whole people, not just what we're operating on. It's so important for healing, so important for healing. So when you think about a holistic approach, Dr. Punch, what does that actually look like for someone?
You know, the main tenets that we believe that has to come first in a holistic approach is to make sure we center what matters most to the person, not what matters most to me as a healthcare provider. Because if I don't first center the reason someone is coming and seeking care and healing, I'm not going to be able to equip them to do the work of healing, because really that work comes from within. But holistic care to us just means recognizing that people are complex, whole beings. You might have a wound on your arm, but the bigger issue is that you can't go to work. Or you might have pain from a broken bone, but the bigger issue is that you don't feel worthy because you can't walk and manage your day-to-day needs. Or you might have something that occurred in the past that made you dependent on a substance, and stigma has kept you from believing that you can live the life you want to live. All of this means recognizing body, heart, mind, and soul, that people are complex, wonderful beings, and that everyone deserves the opportunity to be whole. It also includes not just centering traditional allopathic medicine through prescriptions, surgeries, and wound care. It means including natural techniques, whether it's herbalism or energy medicine, acupuncture, physical function, or just spiritual healing through the ministry of presence. All of these techniques sum toward an experience which I think allows people to step into that wholeness. If trauma separates us from each other and even ourselves, wholeness is where healing can begin.
The ministry of presence. The ministry of presence. Just let that seep in a minute. That's a really powerful statement.
And we have found that that begins through active listening without an agenda. Who are you? What do you want? What do you care about? Are you in pain today? And what do we have here that can allow you to step into what matters most to you? And you know, Elizabeth, this is an idea that really was born through the work we did in the pandemic, right? When we realized that there were all these conflicting pieces of information and there was so much uncertainty, but what people can always do, they can always center what matters to them most. And I think starting there lets even things that seem almost impossible to overcome manageable on a day-to-day basis with that support.
With that support. With that support. So you support people. You support people where they are, and you support people as they come to you.
That's right.
But you need support too, don't you?
Ooh, let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
You know, I frequently describe myself as a trauma surgeon in recovery, and what I mean from that is the first step in being able to hold this kind of space and work collaboratively with all these amazing people that make up Power for STL was me getting well myself. And I have some really basic techniques that I center myself with that we teach many of our patients in the brick and we encourage with folks who are coming to the T. That includes being aware, not just that trauma happens, but being conscious of how that trauma is showing up in your body. So often we talk about the need for mental well-being through talking, and I think talking is really important. But as a surgeon, I'm biased because for me, trauma has always first presented in the body. So how we eat and how we sleep, how we move our bodies, how we connect to each other, how we get our nervous systems quieted so that we can even just stand being inside our own skin when the life around us is going wild. These basic practices of wellness are ones that I do my best to infuse every day, and it's the same kind of medicine we provide patients and participants who come to us for clinical care.
That's wonderful. I mean, wouldn't you love to have this be your healthcare home, right? So, Dr. Punch.
Yes.
As much as it is so wonderful hearing about the work that you do, hearing about what Power for STL is doing, we know that you need financial support as well.
We do. People ask me, how do we fund this effort? And I say 24/7 hustle. Because it's hard. Because many of the folks that we seek to care for do not have insurance, or they're underinsured, or insurance does not provide them a pathway to this kind of holistic approach. And so we are blessed to be funded by numerous organizations in the city, in the state, in the region, and recently just got funding even from the CDC themselves. And so we are so appreciative of the local partnerships that we have. And we have a project, a very exciting project that we're working on for the next year and a half, and that's creating a holistic, comprehensive center to house all of this beautiful work in one space and invite even more regional partnership in supporting people in their healing. We have been given an appropriation of funds through the advocacy of Cori Bush to do that kind of work, and that project is going to be unfolding over the next year or two. The trouble is, as you all know, it's the prep, right? It's the planning, it's the pre-work, and that's not free. So we are pushing with a goal of raising $10,000 with this Give STL campaign to help us get that going and to bring back not just holistic care, not just comprehensive care, but Black-led medicine in St. Louis, recognizing that St. Louis was the hub of training more Black physicians and creating a community of health like no other this side of the Mississippi. We are tapping back into that history, and we are excited about this project, and we're excited about the hope that we can bring back to our community around what seems like the indelible issue of trauma.
So what Dr. Punch is talking about there is Homer G. Phillips Hospital and the nursing school and the internship and residency programs that were held here in St. Louis until just a few decades ago, really.
That's right, that's right.
Anyway, this is just has been so wonderful to, connect with you again. Is always a great joy for me to, I always feel like I'm at the knee of the yogi, right? And to hear about your plans for Give STL Day funding for donations to Power for STL. I always want to say the T or the brick.
That's right.
That's right, one of those two hats.
It's Power for STL.
Power for STL.
The T and the brick.
The T and the brick.
That's the
so
love
if
right
you
there.
like what you hear, you know what to do, right? You go to www.givestlday.org and you can look for the T. I'm sorry, you cannot look for the T.
You can
look
this one.
for Power for
Power
STL. You can look for other health care. You can look for whatever type of nonprofit you are wanting to serve. As you know what we say, you're probably tired of me saying it now. Give to one you know, one you don't know, and one you want to know. We hope tonight that we are introducing you to those that you want to know if you didn't know them before. Dr. Punch, thank you.
Many thanks.
We will see you soon.
All the best.
Okay. So I think that up next is our friends from Open Space STL. So come on up. And this may take a minute. Chris is coming. This may take a minute.
Chris is
Chris is coming.
I'm back, Elizabeth. I'm sorry about that. We were setting up a fun shot. I've got Emily is way out there in Union Station, and she is. Take a look at this. We are getting into the evening hours, Elizabeth, and what you're seeing there. You can go even higher up, Emily. She can't hear me.
Emily.
You can go even higher up. Let's show the whole wheel. There you go. So Elizabeth, that wheel is actually lit, and we're going to be able to see it even better as the night goes on. It is lit in Give STL Day colors.
Yeah, it's got our lovely red and orange and the blue that Emily has on. You can't see Emily, but she's wearing the blue. Those are the colors of the wheel tonight. How fun is that.
And we get to be here right in the heart of the action, Elizabeth. You were doing such a magnificent job. We're going to let you keep on rolling here. We're going to bring on our next nonprofit organization, and I will get back out of your way.
Okay, and I am going to take a minute to go off script and to introduce the wonderful Emily Bauman, our communications operations.
There she doesn't have a camera on her, but she's over there.
Officer, who has been the driving force behind Give STL Day this year.
She doesn't know that you're talking about her.
She
but
doesn't know, because she would be really mad at me if she knew that I was talking about her. But Emily's pretty wonderful. So as you think about what you want to do tonight at www.givestlday.org, just remember that there are tons of people behind this great effort. Most importantly is our wonderful friend and colleague, Emily Bauman. So, having said that,
I found her on camera. There she is.
There she is. Emily, wave. You're looking right over here.
Yeah, there you go. She says hello. Elizabeth, we will wrangle Emily onto camera a little bit later. We've got a great nonprofit lined up to chat with you here.
We have a fantastic nonprofit that we're about to speak with. So Open STL and Operation Clean Stream are here today. So Bonnie Harper's the executive director, and she is going to tell us a little bit about the really incredible work that you all do. So we've talked a lot tonight about immigrants and refugees. We've talked about health. We've talked about kids. What we haven't talked too much about tonight is the environment. And we all know how important care for our environment is, and is only going to get more and more important. So with that, Bonnie, tell us what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yes, so I'm here at Open Space STL. So we've been around since 1965, and the reason we're called Open Space STL is because really our mission is to conserve the natural resources of the St. Louis region, and a main way that we do that is by creating and protecting open space for our community and for wildlife and for biodiversity. And so we do that by helping create new parks and protecting existing parks. And we also do conservation easements, and that protects private land. So we do a lot of fundraising to help purchase private land, and then we create parks with that in partnership with the Missouri Department of Conservation, or a county, or Missouri State Parks, for example. And so we've been doing that since 1965. So if anybody has gone hiking at Castlewood State Park, the reason that park exists is due to the efforts of my predecessors back in the 60s and 70s. So obviously I was not around then, but I'm very grateful for the people that did all that work before me. Beetree County Park is another park we helped create, Forest 44 conservation area. Just this past year, well, actually 2 weeks ago, we just did a ribbon cutting at the Young Conservation Area in Eureka for a new addition there. We've helped out at Eureka. We helped create or expand, I should say, Greensfelder County Park. So we've been doing this work, for over 50 years to help create the park system that St. Louis residents are able to enjoy today. And so that's one of the reasons why we're here today, is to seek support for those efforts. As everyone can appreciate, purchasing land is quite a complicated process. There's a lot that goes into it, especially these large tracts that we're talking about. So we have our board of directors. They're extremely dedicated individuals who are all volunteers for our organization, and they all bring different skill sets to the table, where we're able to go out and evaluate land for its conservation value and the wildlife that's there, the native plants that are there, to really get a feel for whether this is going to make an important park for our community. And so they put in all that time and effort to do that work. We have to seek appraisals when we purchase land, and go through all of legal work, all that it takes to purchase land. So yeah, it's quite a process that we are extremely proud to be a part of, and help shape the ability for people to have numerous and wonderful places to hike, to fish, to swim, to all those great things that nature provides, especially right now when going out in nature has so many mental health benefits for people, so many physical benefits for people. So the more that we can bring those opportunities to people, we think the better it will be for the region.
Well, and as you're listing off parks and the places where you've worked, I'm thinking, yep, I've been there and I love that park, and yep, oh, I didn't know about the ribbon cutting a couple of weeks ago. That's pretty cool. So you've also brought with you not just the knowledge of what open space does, but a few little goodies for us to look at. What do we have here?
This is something this is a bush honeysuckle, freshly cut by myself. I cut this from a park on the way here because we also, in addition to purchasing land and creating new parks, we help maintain the park systems that we have. So we work with a couple thousand volunteers every year. Wow. And we organize about 40 to 50 events per year to remove honeysuckle from various parks that we have partnerships with throughout the region. So we supply our volunteers with tools such as things like these loppers, and we have other tools that we have to use to help get rid of this horrible invasive plant. It is completely taking over all of the woodland systems in the St. Louis region, and it's outcompeting all of our native plants. And if we don't continue to try to get rid of this, we're just going to have honeysuckle forests going forward for future generations. And that's not good for anyone. That's not good for our local biodiversity. Honeysuckle it needs to go. So we're out there with our volunteers hacking away at this honeysuckle. Pretty much every week we have an event going on to try to get rid of this stuff with the help of our volunteers. So we try to provide them with high quality tools to get rid of this stuff. And so that's a lot of what support today would go towards, is making sure that we are able to replace all of our broken tools. These tools get a lot of wear and tear. Volunteers are putting in thousands of hours every year doing this work, and so these tools get put through the runner pretty quickly.
I bet.
So our programs, the Community Stewardship Alliance, we have volunteer events going in 6 St. Louis County parks right now to try to help the park staff there really restore nature back to our park systems and make them high quality, thriving places for bees, butterflies, birds, aquatic wildlife, and people as well, because the more biodiversity we have in our public open spaces, the healthier everyone will be from that. So that's why I brought this here today.
$2.6 million just crossed there, by the way. I think you're inspiring people.
Yeah.
This is great.
I also have this fun trash grabber here, this litter grabber, and this mesh trash bag to show that another volunteer program that we have that you mentioned earlier is, I'm wearing the shirt for it. It's our Operation Clean Stream program. So since 1967, we have organized volunteers to clean up the entire Merrimack River watershed. So that extends all the way from southeastern Missouri to where the Merrimack meets the confluence at the Mississippi River near Arnold. And so we send out around 2,000 volunteers every summer to remove cars, tires, houses, mattresses, washing machines, refrigerators, trash from the Merrimack River. And so, so we're about to do our 56th year of Operation Clean Stream on August 26, 2023. Save the date.
Save the date.
And we send out volunteers on canoes, on boats, by land, along the riverbanks, in our parks and streams. And we send them out with a whole plethora of these trash bags and these litter grabbers and just their own sheer muscle and willpower to get this stuff out of the river, so that people in the St. Louis region have a wonderful place to swim, to fish, to go on float trips, so that they have a healthy, clean environment to experience all that, those wonderful river experiences that we're so lucky to have in St. Louis. The Merrimack River is right in our backyard.
Right. Bonnie, you're making me want to go out and pick up trash in the rivers on August 26th. So tonight, you can be looking for volunteers as well as looking for donations. That's a wonderful thing to think about, everybody out there. If you're interested in helping clean up our environment and protecting it for not just for our own recreational uses, but for the multitude of species that live in our region and the both plant, flora, and fauna, right? So So volunteers are great, but talk to us about the donations that you're looking for. What was your goal for Give STL Day today?
So yes, we are hoping to hit $8,000 today.
That's great.
Yeah, so to help things like provide more tools for our volunteers, so we can have more volunteers. We can only have the amount of volunteers at an event that we have tools to provide them with. You know, so the more tools we have, the more volunteers we have. The more volunteers we have, the more awesome work we can all get done together. So our donations are going towards those efforts. We also have a special donation set up in honor of the hellbender. So the hellbender is an endangered salamander species found in our rivers in Missouri, in the Merrimack River. And so featured on my shirt here as well, this little guy. So any special donations to help save the hellbender, help us clean up trash, because who wants to live? Do you want your home to have trash in it? Nobody wants their home to have trash in it. And so we don't want, the home of the hellbender to have trash in it either.
Love that.
Yeah, and so, we do it for them. We do it for the turtles. We do it for the fish. We do it for all those creatures, too, that deserve a healthy, place to live, to call their home. And we want them to call Missouri and the St. Louis region our home. It's really special that we have these incredible river systems that we do have. And I haven't even mentioned that we also do a trash bash program on the Missouri River and the River to Pear. So we really are trying to restore places for all of St. Louis, for all of our residents, no matter where you are in the region. We want to make sure we are having nice, clean, healthy open spaces for you to enjoy.
Nice, clean, healthy open spaces, something we all need. And I think we all need a little hellbender in our lives too.
A healthbender sounds good too, though.
There we go. A healthbender or a hellbender. Bonnie, thank you so much for spending some of your evening with us tonight. And everybody, think about that. Did you know open space before? Is that one you want to know? You want to get to know? Tonight, it's Give STL Day, www.givestl.org. Give to when you know, when you don't know, and when you want to know. Give early, give often. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for spending some of your night with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Bonnie. And hey, Elizabeth, we have dispatched Emily over to the wheel. Let's take a look here. I don't know if you saw this camera here, but you can start to see those colors a little bit better. You see the red, blue, and the orange there. So Give STL Day literally lighting up the city here.
Lighting up the St. Louis
Bonnie.
Oh, my mic.
Yeah, Bonnie is still mic'd.
And so if you can see the
that
red
almost got
the best,
very
I
interesting
think,
there.
right now. But if you're sitting in my seat, I've got the colors just really popping. It's so much fun to see.
It is gorgeous. So if you are out and about around St. Louis tonight, Emily didn't know I was coming back to her, but she's coming on back now. If you're out and about around St. Louis tonight, come on down. You're going to want to check out the wheel. You can still get on up there. You see the wheel entrance. Again, Emily does not know that I threw it back to her now.
And when you come down to ride the wheel that is lit up for Give STL Day, you can also stop by and say hi to us here, where we are at Union Station, by the pond, in front of Landry's, next to the soda fountain. Come say hi and support one of our 1,100 nonprofit organizations.
Elizabeth, the one thing that happened during that conversation that I wanted to point out to you, we actually received a donation to the 1,000th organization today.
That is
We're actually
great.
up to 1,003 organizations.
Wonderful.
Have received at least one donation today.
I bet you can't even name 1,000 nonprofit organizations. There's 17,000 nonprofits in our community. That includes the PTAs, and that includes organizations that are really defunct but never got rid of their nonprofit license. But think about that, 1,000 nonprofit organizations receiving funding because you, St. Louis, are as generous as you are. I am thrilled to hear that.
It's great news.
Absolutely thrilled to hear it.
$2,622,622,059 has been raised from 18,418 donations, and that's a credit, as Elizabeth just said, to you watching at home, whether you're around St. Louis, around Western Illinois, right? Western Illinois?
Yeah, southwestern Illinois.
Southwestern Illinois, I'm learning. And really anywhere around the world. Give STL Day. Again, we talked about this earlier today, Elizabeth, that the eyes of the philanthropic universe are on St. Louis today. It's got to be a really cool feeling.
It's so fun.
Year after year for you.
Year after year.
One of your favorite days.
I have to tell you, it is my favorite work day of the year. Because
does it feel like a work day?
No,
little bit.
It actually really doesn't. Well, there's a little bit of work, but you know what makes it so fun? What makes it so fun is that we get to highlight the great work of 1,100 nonprofit organizations. We can't have all 1,100 on talking with Chris or talking with me or talking with any of my other colleagues. But what we get to do is we get to bring you a sample, and through that sample you can see the incredible support for our community that these nonprofits give, and they can only do that because you are supporting them. And I just happen to know that we have had donations from Denver, we have had donations from Seattle, and my guess is that we've had donations from East Coast cities as well. And you know what? You can give no matter where you are, here in St. Louis or from other parts of our country. It's really fun to see how so many come together to support the amazing work of our nonprofit organizations. www.givestlday.org.
It's an incredibly special day, and in fact this year, Elizabeth, 10 bonus hours. So usually we wrap things up tonight, but in fact we will be back tomorrow. We're going to meet, we're going to continue that sampler platter tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll be live from the Community Foundation offices, introducing you to a whole lot more organizations from all around the community. We're going to get our next nonprofit in place. We're going to take a real quick break, crank the music up just a little bit, and Elizabeth, we'll be right back in about 60 seconds with our next organization. So don't you go anywhere. GiveSTLDay.org.
GiveSTLDay.org.
One, two, three.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
No, I can't see. What time is it? 7:39.
Well, we are back for Give STL Day, www.givestlday.org. Are you sick of me saying that yet? Is it sort of like St. Louis Public Radio, which I love and adore, and their fundraising drives, and they have done a fabulous job of talking about Give STL Day. So a little shout out to one of our many media partners, including channels 2, 4, 5. We love you all. at this point in the day, I have so much fun. Well, I think I've told you all before that I love my job. I have the best job in the world because I get to see every single day people and organizations that are making a difference in our community. And when I get to go out and visit them, it brings that mission to life. And I wish I could take all of you with me on some of those visits. So a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of going to the Miriam School and Learning Center. And I hadn't been out there in several years, and it has changed a lot. So here tonight to tell us a little bit about that, we've got Meg and Dana, and you are just such wonderful representatives. I can't wait to hear you talk about the mission of Miriam and the work that you do and the incredible kids you get to work with.
And it was so fun having you come visit us too, because we love our kids and we love kind of showing off all the things that we do. So Miriam School and Learning Center seeks to work and empower kids who learn differently. And we do that. We have 2 campuses, and Elizabeth is able to come to our lower and middle school campus. And then we also have our high school campus. And so our job is try to empower kids who learn differently. We also have the Learning Center, and we work in Greater St. Louis. And actually this year we have served 1,300 kids so far. And what we do is any kind of special education services. We work with public schools, private schools, and charter schools, as well as, we have our own school. So we just, our job is to help kids be the very best that they can be and kind of give them the strategies, the instruction to learn and grow. So it's been amazing. And one of the things that I love about our organization is that, we are founded on community service. So to be here today with the Community Foundation and be with you is so important to us, because Miriam was founded in 1910. And the whole idea was to do community service. And then over time, we've evolved to, since 1956, work with kids who learn differently. And so we've been there at the Webster Groves campus. And then we started the Learning Center, and then we started the high school. And today we're talking about the high school. And we're talking about the need and the impact that a sensory garden would have for our children. So sensory garden, what does that mean? Well, for our kids, especially all kids who learn differently, or most people actually, the ability to feel good in your own skin, to regulate your body is so important. And so for us, if you go to any of our campuses, you'll see that the occupational therapy rooms are at the heart and the center of our school. Because we know that if you feel good in yourself and in your body, you can have your brain open to learn anything and to do anything. But if those channels aren't open, it's really hard. Well, what we know about Miriam is it's good to have occupational therapy on the inside, but it's also really impactful and powerful to have it on the outside. So we have this amazing playground at Miriam's school, the lower school and middle school, where you go outside and it looks like a regular playground. But actually, it's been designed through the lens of occupational therapy. What are the things that are going to help a kid feel really good in their body and to have fun? So some of the things you'll see that we'll see in most playgrounds is there's swings. And swings really help our vestibular system. So as you go back and forth on a swing, for some kids' brains, it really helps make them feel regulated. Some kids really need to spin. And so a lot of times on the playground, you'll see tire swings. I look at that stuff and I'm like, I don't think I can do that anymore. My vestibular system cannot take it. But kids need that. And then also if you go out on our playground at the Webster Groves campus, you'll see, there's games, there's a climbing frame, there's a way for kids to pull themselves up on a monkey bar, because when you do that, it feels really good on your body, and there's joint compression. There's games so that kids can work on their gross motor skills, all kinds of things. We have this new campus in Olivet, and it doesn't have any of those outside components that we really know are important. And we also know, after the pandemic, that we need to have kids outside. It's such a way to help teach coping strategies. So we know that humans are meant to be outside, and there's a lot of research around, if you're feeling anxious and you go outside, you take your shoes off and walk around, you feel better. Well, maybe because high school kids are taking their shoes off, maybe you don't want that. But we do want our kids to be connected with the earth. And so creating a sensory garden that has occupational therapy equipment in it as well as imagine what it feels like, or if you close your eyes and think about it, what it smells like to go out to a garden that has like amazing flowers and herbs and even those freshly grown vegetables. And the scent of, and the touch of it, right? And the sound of it as the wind goes through like things like bamboo stems and all of those components. Like those are things that really help ground our kids. They makes them feel at peace and feel better. And I think as adults, if we can have those habits, we'll all feel better. Our goal is to create this sensory garden and to be able to have a place where people can come to have their bodies feel better and to feel at peace. And I think that for our kids especially, they really, really need that. But I think we can also continue to be a model in our community and kind of open that garden up to show people what to do and how to do it for not only their children, but for themselves. So wellness and well-being are really important.
And I think the other thing too about a sensory garden is, all the things that Meg said, but in addition to it helps them refocus so they can focus on their education and get the most that they can get out of their day. So, at the high school, we want them to build on what they've learned and what they can potentially be, so when they graduate, that next transition, they can hopefully learn from going out into a sensory garden. If I'm a little worked up, I'm just going to go sit outside, or I'm going to do these things. So we're just trying to help them grow as individuals as well.
Yeah, and that's something like we work so hard on.
Yes.
Because I think when we think about kids graduating from high school, we want them to graduate with like this great diploma that has all of the credits that they need and a kind of a robust academic schedule. But we also want them to have this portfolio, of experiences and things that they can bring out to the world, because all of our pathways can change, and that's okay. And especially in this world, I feel like things change faster, and people aren't maybe working in the same job for 20, 30 years. They're able to kind of adapt and think about what they want to be when they grow up.
Right.
Sometimes I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But if
I still don't know.
If I didn't have the greatest job in the world, I wouldn't know, but I have the greatest job.
I think my job's pretty
yes,
great
you
too. But I think that if we can give them a way that when they graduate and they leave our school, that they have things that they can draw from. So when life happens, because life does happen, nobody said that life is easy.
No.
But if they have these experiences so that when their transition happens, they can draw on it when life becomes uncertain or a pathway changes, everything will be okay. And that's what we really try hard to do at Miriam. So
wonderful. Thank you so much for introducing us to the world of Miriam School and Learning Center, and in particular for sharing a little bit about what's important for a child with special learning needs to be able to center and to be able to learn. What incredible work you all are doing. So, if Miriam School and Learning Center is new to you out there in donor land, please do consider them as one you know, one you didn't know and you want to know more, and give to one you know, give to one you don't know, and give to one you want to know more about. Yeah. Thank you so very much, both of you, Dana and Meg, for coming out this evening. It's a beautiful night here at Union Station.
It is.
But it is a late night for you, so we really appreciate
thank you for having us. We're so grateful to be a part of this.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so thank you.
We
really appreciate you.
Terrific.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Thank you.
One, two, three.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Okay, everybody, we are back, and as we approach that 8 o'clock hour, we've got about 10 minutes left. I have today with me Kevin Amstutz, did I get that right? From UCP Heartland, another one of our great healthcare providers. Kevin, tell me a little bit about what you do at UCP.
Yeah, certainly. Well, thank you for having us tonight. We really appreciate it. It's awesome being here. UCP Heartland is a nonprofit in St. Louis that supports children and adults with differing disabilities. So we do that and really strive for them to thrive in school, at home, at work, and in the community. So we do that on several different programs, but some of them is our Adult Day program, where we actually have Adult Day clients come in every day and have goals, and they work on those goals and they strive to be independent. That is their ultimate goal there, and they love it there. It is the best time to be there every day. And we also do employment. So we have an employment program where we have a client comes in, wants to find a job, and we actually help them provide to find that job, but most importantly, something that they really wish and like to do. So that's more important to us. That's something they were going to stay with and really, really be encouraged to work more and be loving where they're at in the community. And we also have an autism center. We just opened up this year in Dogtown. So we're really excited about this. This actually gives us an opportunity for the people in the city of St. Louis to be able to provide autism services in St. Louis, right in the city. So we're super excited about that. It's only service and provider that does that in the city. So we're super excited about it, and Give STL Day is a great day to help us provide those services. So.
Well, that's wonderful, and to hear that Give STL Day is helping to support all those great services. You know, I've been saying a few times throughout the day, and certainly in the last hour or so, how much I love my job. It really makes a difference when people like their job, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For me, I love coming into work and seeing these clients, these people might have a disability, but they are full of life. They are so excited, and I love that most of their goals is to be independent. They want to be just like everyone else. And that's our goal, it's to help them to get those goals. So yeah, I love UCP.
So how do you help someone figure out what they love to do and where they might want to be for their work world?
Yeah, so we actually have a big employment team where they actually meet one-on-one with a client and hear about maybe if they like doing dishes, maybe they like doing mail work, maybe it's computer science, maybe that's something that they actually really want to get into. And we have partners and we work with other community businesses to help them try to find those jobs. And we're all throughout the St. Louis area. And so if anyone's interested in wanting to get hired, we have a whole team of staff helping them to not look for just a job, but a job they actually want to do. So
that's fantastic. You know, part of the work world is not just having work that you like, but knowing about showing up on time and how to get there, how to deal with the bus systems.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's a lot for as a normal person or a typically developed person to maybe understand what it's like to be in an interview process or what to wear or how to dress. And we help that all down the line. And just after the fact after they get employed, we really want to keep that employment and training with them. So we keep working with managers and really help provide them with the ongoing support even after they secure that job.
That's fantastic.
So that's awesome.
Boy, you know, I sometimes feel like I need somebody to do that
Oh, definitely. I definitely do.
So tell us about this Dogtown Center.
Yeah.
Give me a little more about that.
Yeah, so it's a really awesome center. It's actually kids that may not have insurance, that may not have all the resources to get services and autism services like that. But we are able to provide those services for anyone. And it's a beautiful space. We actually have all these different tools, resources in the center, and it's beautiful. And we're just getting started. So we're actually really wanting to go more and expand in the St. Louis city, because unfortunately there's not that many resources in the city of St. Louis like there is in the county, where they have all the other resources in the county. So we're really trying to deep dive into the city.
That's absolutely fantastic. And clearly people are liking it, because the lights here at Union Station have been coming on as you speak.
This is
So
beautiful.
There is some great support for what you're doing there. You know, it's interesting, because when we think about autism, you know, I think some of us have one picture of what that is,
Absolutely.
but it's really a whole spectrum.
A whole spectrum.
And so my guess is, to be able to provide that range of services, you need to have, you know, pretty well-trained staff that are.
So we have about 260 employees for our organization. A lot of that is direct care staff. And for us, we actually started, next year is going to be our 70th anniversary, which we're really excited about. And we actually have grown. So we just help people with cerebral palsy. But now, over the course of the years, and 50 years, 70 years have gone by, we have expanded our programs to every development disability there is, because we realize that there's so many people and it's growing. So there's not that much support, and we want to be there for the support. So that's really cool.
Well, great. And we want to be able to support you. We want our donors out in Donorland to support you the way Union Station was like, yes, these are great ideas. The lights are coming on. So tell us, what are you trying to raise today? What's your goal?
Yeah, so for UCP Heartland, our goal is $5,000. And we're really, really excited. We would love all your guys' support. I just looked, we're $750 away. So any support goes and helps support this, and all this goes to all our programs like we discussed about. So really appreciate any support.
So what do you think out there? Do you think we've got 3 minutes before the 8 o'clock hour. Do you think we can get Kevin and UCP Heartland that last $750
Come on, St.
before
Louis.
8 o'clock comes? Come on, St. Louis.
We can do it.
www.givestlday.org and look for UCP Heartland as one that you want to get to know, or maybe it's one that you already know really, really well. But just come on out,
Andrew,
support all of our nonprofits, and support UCP Heartland. Kevin,
Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Whoa. Chris has something to say.
No, I was just getting back in position. Thank you so much, Kevin, for being here. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank
know it's
you.
a long night, so good luck surpassing that goal.
Yes.
We'll be rooting for you for sure.
Appreciate you guys.
We really, really
Have a
appreciate
great
it.
night, all right.
And yes, Marilyn Amstutz says, let's go.
Let's go, guys. Come on. We can do it.
Hi,
We
my
can do it.
dude. Andrew, you're my dude. Thanks for
Andrew's
jumping
our
in the
best friend at UCP. He's a client of ours, and he's an amazing guy. So.
Oh, Andrew, I love that. And Marilyn,
We appreciate you guys
that.
being here. Elizabeth, we've got about 30 seconds until, thank you, Kevin. We've got about 30 seconds. You notice my hat change, by the way? I'm going to see if I get
Hey, he's
kinda
wearing a Cubbies hat.
kicked out of here.
No.
1 hour to go. I think I can get away with it, right, Emily? It'll be all right.
Well, we'll have to show this Cubby that St. Louis reigns and bring those dollars in.
How about donate if you hate the Cubs?
Donate to your favorite nonprofit if you, I'm not going to say hate, but if you take the Cards over the Cubs any day. Hey, listen, Chris, it has been...
What's the score of the Cubs game? I'm looking at the score of the game.
Listen to him, looking at the score of the game.
I believe it is 5-2 Chicago Cubs over the St. Louis Cardinals right now.
No.
I had to slip that in there before the fire show hits here.
No.
Elizabeth.
Okay, wait a minute. You gotta do me right here because I think I'm gonna be saying goodnight now.
We want to say, seriously, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that music is about to hit, so we're going to have to mute everybody's mics here. Elizabeth, you've been magnificent tonight to bring this experience of having spoken and met so many of these organizations. This has been incredible to hear you bring your insights, and we cannot say thank you enough for being here.
Well, and I cannot say thank you to my wonderful, wonderful St. Louis community. You've been so great to support our nonprofits. Keep it coming. Give early, give often. I guess it's not early anymore. Give late and give often. And we love you, St. Louis.
And now you're stuck with the Cubs fan for the last hour of our live coverage. Thank you, Elizabeth. We'll be back in 5 minutes when the copyrighted music stops playing. In the meantime, here's some non-copyrighted music. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm at the St. Louis Area Food Bank today with Meredith Knopf. Meredith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's wonderful to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. So we wanted to talk today about what exactly is the St. Louis Area Food Bank and how is it really helping out the community?
Sure. So the St. Louis Area Food Bank is really our region's response to hunger. We are working very, very hard through our network. And so when I say our network, we actually serve 26 counties in both Missouri and Illinois. There's actually a map behind you that shows our entire service territory. And what we do is we are actually procuring food from all across the country, bringing it to the food bank, and then distributing it to that network, which is almost 600 food pantries across the 26 counties that we serve.
Wow, that's amazing. How long have you been in this role in the St. Louis Area Food Bank, and what has been the impact that you've seen the St. Louis Area Food Bank provide?
Sure. So the St. Louis Area Food Bank has been around since 1975, so almost 50 years. I joined in February of 2018. Since I've been here, we have had to weather a flood in Illinois. We've, of course, all went through the COVID-19 pandemic. We went through this flooding this past summer. We're in the current economic climate, so it has certainly been a tumultuous time, but I'm so very proud of our team, our network, our donors, volunteers that you see behind her that keep showing up. They keep answering the call to ensure that families across the bi-state region don't have to make those impossible choices about, do I pay for food or do I pay for my housing bill or my electrical bill or to put gas in the car?
Definitely, and like you mentioned, it's all about the people that we serve, so it's so wonderful to hear that we're able to give back to the community. You mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic. How exactly did that impact the St. Louis Area Food Bank, and what was a positive and a negative with that?
Sure. Well, like everyone, our world got flipped upside down overnight, and there was no playbook, right? We had never been through this before. So people were asking, what are you going to do? So we set out and said two goals. We're going to keep our team safe, and we're going to keep the doors open. And we just came to work every day thinking, we're just going to figure this out. And we were able to do that with great partnerships, our great community partners, our donors. The USDA really stepped up and provided much needed food and funds to meet people where they were, because people didn't want to leave their homes. A lot of our pantries weren't open because people didn't want to go outside. People didn't want to go inside anywhere, let alone at a food pantry. And so we did a lot of those mobile distributions that you would see on TV, those drive-through distributions, to get food into the hands of people who needed it in a very safe way, which is always our priority.
Always, 100%. And I'm just so happy that you stayed open, and even through the pandemic, you were able to reach so many people. That speaks volumes about the greatness of this organization. So I want to ask you, how has working in partnership with the St. Louis Community Foundation really impacted and benefited the St. Louis Area Food Bank?
The Community Foundation is a wonderful partner of ours. We're able to go in and have conversations with them about what we're doing, what we're seeing, and what our needs are, quite candidly. So then they're able to work with their donors and people within their network and make those connections. If there's someone that wants to fund a certain program or help support in a certain area of the region that we serve, they're able to help make those connections for us, as well as just shine a light on the incredible work that not just the staff, but our network of partners and our volunteers are doing. We have over 25,000 volunteers that come out here each and every year to do this work. We can't do this with our staff. We need that army of volunteers who are coming out. We need all those pantry partners on the front lines delivering the food that they receive from the St. Louis Area Food Bank to their community.
It's a fun place to help and have fun with neighbors and family. I just enjoy, and I hope you all have a good day.
Everyone that's going to donate tomorrow on Give STL Day to the St. Louis Area Food Bank, we simply want to say thank you. We cannot do this work without you, and it is critically important that we are working very, very hard to put nutritious foods on the tables of every family here in the bi-state region. So thank you for making that choice, and thank you for choosing the St. Louis Area Food Bank.
Great. On the, can we do like a, I'm going to do 3, 2, 1. Now this is the question.
Yes.
Because you don't want to say thank you St. Louis because you cover so much more than St. Louis, right? So how would you phrase something pithy and to the point, like thank you St. Louis area, or thank you
the Midwest region?
We call it the bi-state region.
Thank you. You want to say thank you bi-state region?
Yes.
Thank you to the bi-state region.
Thank you to everyone across the bi-state region for your support.
Want to give that to me one more time at full volume?
Thank you to everyone across the bi-state region for your support.
Thank you, St. Louis, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
St. Louis Community Foundation would like to thank the sponsors that make Give STL Day possible. Give STL Day is powered by the St. Louis Community Foundation, presented by the Burgess Family Foundation. Our gateway sponsor is Purina. Our community sponsors are Cardinals Care, KMOV, 5 on Your Side, the St. Louis Business Journal, and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Our friends of Give STL Day are Clean, More Computing, and St. Louis Magazine. Our prize sponsors are the Association of Fundraising Professionals, St. Louis Chapter, Chemline Cares, Church Productions, Clifton Larson Allen, Foss Swim School, Incarnate Word Foundation, Nonprofit Marketers Network St. Louis, Splice, and SSM Health. Our decor partner is Balloon Theory. Hi everybody, this is Emily Bauman from the St. Louis Community Foundation. Let's take a look at our upcoming Power Hours. So during these hours throughout the giving period, we have a $20,000 prize pool that's up for grabs. Every donation made during a Power Hour, which are generously provided by our sponsors, is uplifted by that $20,000 prize pool. So if you want to make your dollar go further, donate during the hours you see on your screen now.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Hi everybody, this is Emily Bauman from the St. Louis Community Foundation. Let's take a look at our upcoming Power Hours. So during these hours throughout the giving period, we have a $20,000 prize pool that's up for grabs. Every donation made during a Power Hour, which are generously provided by our sponsors, is uplifted by that $20,000 prize pool. So if you want to make your dollar go further, donate during the hours you see on your screen now.
One, 2, 3.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, Thank you, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis. Thank you, St. Louis.